Woo! I told y'all Olivia mama was alive. I told y'all. Okay, spoiler alert. I'm about to just go ahead and jump right into it. Guys, I'm so sorry. This is a day short, because y'all know usually my Scandal review goes up the night of, but a sister been busy, okay? So forgive me, it's going up the next day, but let's jump into it. This Scandal episode, this review is for Scandal season 3, episode 7. We have one more episode till my favorite director, well, not favorite, but one of my favorite directors will be directing this next episode, Ava DuVernay. So I can't wait to see her direction on that. For those of you who do not know who I am, my name is Angie Ray. I'm an actress here in LA, and I'm also a Scandal lover. So yes, a lot of my reviews are from a viewpoint of an actor, but also a gladiator. Don't judge me. Okay, so, woo, my Lord. All right, y'all, I done took some notes because apparently notes keep me focused. Okay, so the episode starts out with Mellie welcoming some reporter to the East Wing. She made a little line about, I know you're familiar with the West Wing. Apparently she was on the West Wing. I never watched the West Wing, but I think that was a play on her character in the West Wing. So that's just, I don't know, FYI. So was it just me, or did everybody else think that reporter was hell of annoying? Like super, super annoying. She just registered as just a foul reporter, someone who just was looking to take Mellie under. Okay, so I didn't like her from the opening scene. I didn't like her. Okay, her name was Carla. Carla the reporter, and apparently Fist didn't like her either, because he put her in her place later on in the season. I mean, later on in the episode. So Cyrus. Okay, so yeah, Mellie is walking around this camera crew, and they're doing like, I guess she's trying to do damage control for her reputation because of that little comment she made a couple episodes ago about some kids or whatever. I forgot what she said, but it was just ridiculous. And then on top of that, she aired her dirty laundry. And so just America is not loving Mellie right now. And so that's what they're doing. They're like basically trying to cover up, reconstruct her image, if you will. Okay, and so she's basically having to apologize for Fitz's indiscretions, which she basically brings up to Cyrus later on in the episode, that she don't understand why she got to do all the work when it's him who made the error. And I'm like, yeah, I feel you. This episode was all about Mellie. I loved her backstory. Like, I was already Team Jake, and I already was kind of like digging Mellie, because it's just like her dimensions and just the depth of her character. But this time, I mean, this episode pretty much solidified that I'm Team Mellie all the way. Like, Olivia, girl, I love you, and I might fluctuate back and forth depending on how you react later on in the season. But right now, Mellie, girl, I'm Team Mellie, okay? So yeah, the camera crew is following him around, and Cyrus Bean gets into the camera shot, and he's like, oh, I haven't combed my hair today. And I'm just like, oh my God, Cyrus, really? Like, I laughed. I don't know why I'm mentioning it, but I did laugh because Cyrus, y'all know I love me some Cyrus. So anytime I see Cyrus, I laugh because I know he gives me everything I need. And he gave me everything I needed this episode. So then, we cut to, there's a lot of flashbacks in this episode, okay? So, between the present and 15 years ago. I really liked Fitz and Mellie 15 years ago when they were married. They just seemed like they were so young and truly in love. And this is pre-Carrie. This is pre-Olivia. And this is pre-Governor. This is just like the beginning of the relationship. And I can't stand Fitz's daddy. Like, Big Jerry, he is just disgusting to me. The way he barks at Fitz, or the way he used to bark at Fitz. I totally get it. And you know what? Sadly, in today's society, there are a lot of relationships, like a lot of men go through relationships with their father just like that, where the father doesn't understand what it entails, what it means to be a father, and they hold money over everything. And so Big Jerry's one of those people who just doesn't know what it means to be, like, the actual meaning behind being a father. And to some degree, it has really damaged Fitz's psyche. And Mellie knows this. She learns about it. She starts to learn about it 15 years ago, and you get to kind of see how the political animal was born. Somebody on Twitter was like, yeah, so that's how Mellie the political animal was born. And I love that phrase for her. She is a political animal. And I'm so glad that they did the backstory on her, because now I get it. I get why she's the way she is. And you know what? Quite honestly, I am not mad at Mellie. I would be the same way. For real, for real. Okay, so Cyrus, you know, well, they're trying to make a baby, okay? Fitz and Mellie trying to make a baby 15 years ago, and apparently it was implied that they have been trying to make a baby. And so they cut to this one morning where they're lying in the bed, and Cyrus's father, not Cyrus's father, but Jerry, Fitz's father, is screaming and hollering and hooping, talking about, come down right now, I have somebody I need you guys to meet, and stop frolicking like a bunch of high school sweethearts. And I'm just like, what is wrong with this dude? And like, they're basically, Mellie and Fitz are talking like, oh my god, my father is like so annoying, and he's you know, I'm trying to make a baby, and they start making love or whatever, and they cut away. So then they come down the stairs a couple, I don't know if it's minutes or hours, y'all, I don't know. They just, the arc wasn't told that way. But they come downstairs, and this is when we're introduced to Cyrus for the first time. And I had to look twice, because I'm like, is that Cyrus? Because they really did a good job of making him look a little, or completely different. I wouldn't say so much younger, just Cyrus with hair. I think Cyrus might wear a fat suit, because he looked way skinnier, and he had facial hair. And so I'm just like, okay. So he's circling Mellie and Fitz like a freaking shark. And, you know, he's basically sizing them up, because this is, I guess, well, you know, Fitz's father is the one who introduced Cyrus to Mellie and Fitz. And so he's the one who's supposed to be kicking off his like political career and yada yada yada. So he's circling him like a freaking shark. And I'm like, so Cyrus has always been like this. This is not something that he eventually developed into. Like, every character has like their character development. You see where they're coming from. But Cyrus has always been intense. Okay. Another thing about Cyrus I didn't know is that he was married to a woman. And so I'm like, okay, they are just unraveling people's backstories like it is no one's business. So I'm like, okay, I get it. We're gonna get to Mama Pope Lives in a minute, okay? Because that was just the icing on the cake. But I told you guys that Mama Pope was alive. I told y'all I kept seeing that woman's name, Candy Alexander, in them credits, the opening credits, and Hollywood does not do that unless you are a reoccurring guest. And I'm not talking about no flashback. She was gonna be revealed in some kind of way, and I'm so glad Shonda Rhimes gave me everything I need. Like, Shonda, you're wonderful. Like, your mind and your writers team, they're imaginative, they're creative, they think exactly how they think, and they translate how humans really behave. And I love them for that, because honey, I swear, if Mama Pope wasn't alive, I was going to head over to ABC Studios and really cut a full, like, what? For real. So anyways, I wanted to do a side note. I like Mellie's hair short like that. Do you guys like it? Because I mean, her hair is cute long, but I really, something about that short bob gives her some type of freedom. And I don't know if that's because prior to the incident, let's just get, y'all know I jump around, so I'm mad as hell that Cyrus is, I don't know why I keep saying Cyrus, that Fitz's daddy, Jerry, raped Mellie? For real? Like, you were already disgusting, Big Jerry, but you really went there and you took that, oh my God, like I was so, like my heart was breaking in pieces when he raped her, like, and he justified it the next morning, like, I know things got out of hand. See, y'all about to make me say words that I'm trying to steer away from. Negro, and he, you know, he's not even black, but I just want to use that epithet. You know, Negro, please, are you really serious? Things got out of hand, and this is where the political animal was born in Mellie, because she was like, because the night before when he raped her, after he raped her, she went into her and Fitz's bedroom, and of course, like, they showed that girl, Bellamy Young, can act her butt off, because they showed how vulnerable and how abused she was, and like you could register how she was feeling, you know, because of that incident. And Fitz is laying in the bed, he's asleep. He was like, Mellie, where you been? She's like, I've been talking to my daddy. He's like, this late in Nashville or whatever? And she was like, yeah, he wanted to talk about, you know, he wanted to talk to his baby girl. And I just thought, okay, y'all, I just thought the dichotomy of Fitz's father raping Mellie, and then her excuse as to where she was because she was talking to her father. I don't know. I feel like the writers, and from an actor's point of view, it kind of connected, because when you're being raped, I presume that you want someone to save you, and that person, if it's not your husband, then it would be your father. And I just felt like that was those lines. I just want to give a shout out to the Scandal writers, because those lines fit perfectly, and I really, not being an actor, but as a consumer and as a gladiator, I really enjoyed that entire scene. She wanted to take a shower. He was like, no, come lay down. And just like everything in that scene gave me life, because you're like, my heart is breaking every minute, because like the girl just got raped. Of course she wants to go take a shower and shower that big old nasty germ off of her. And she can't, like, I don't know if she was thinking about telling Fitz that her father raped her or whatever, but he was like, just once, he's holding her, he was like, he demanded her that she come to the bed, and she was like, okay, you know, and she still shook up about the incident that happened, the rape. And so he was like, I just want, because I guess, well, I know that Fitz and his dad, Jerry, had a big argument before, and y'all know I jump around, so this is part of me jumping around. And basically, Fitz was like, he's kind of like half sleeping, half awake, and he was like, I just wish that, you know, just once my father would apologize for being a bad daddy, and, you know, would just give me the benefit of the doubt, and da-da-da-da-da, and maybe I can run for governor. I'm sure that I could actually run for governor. And so Mellie wants her husband. She loves her husband. This is not something that Mellie wants to be the first lady so bad that she's willing to do anything. Now she's willing to do everything, because now, like, by them telling her backstory, it really explains why she's so adamant, and the things that she does, it explains it. And I'm so glad. Ooh, y'all know I loved that whole, I love the description. Like, every single thing they gave me, I was eating it up, because honestly, yes, we need to know this, because people were hating Mellie, but now you understand why she does what she does. And so they go down the next morning, and it's a scene between Mellie and Big Jerry. He was like, oh, I know things got out of hand. And she was like, out of hand? Like, nigga, like, I'm sorry, y'all. Oh, I'm sorry, but you raped me. And that's not what she said to him directly, but that's kind of like what was implied. And she was like, you know what? That's okay. What you're going to do is you're going to tell your son what he wants to hear. He needs to hear that you believe in him, that you're sorry for being a bad father, that this. She gave him a list of things that he was going to do. or basically I was going to, you know, basically like, you do this or I'm going to say what I have to say and what you did to me last night. And he was like, oh yeah, Mellie, you're such an asset. She's like, I'm his wife. Like, I'm not an ass, I'm his wife. Yes, I'm his asset, but I'm his wife, and you took advantage of that, and you're a dirty old man, and I'm so glad he's dead. But I don't even like the flashbacks with Big Jerry because he disgusts me. Okay, so I love that. Let's see. Okay, so they cut to like Baby Huck, y'all know who I'm talking about, Quinn, aka Baby Huck, and Charlie are in the shooting range, and I'm just so sick of seeing them. I'm so glad. I'm glad they did what they did to Baby Huck, because I just want her to go away. I don't even want her to be on Pope and Associates. I don't even want her to be a gladiator because she's just annoying as hell, and it was leading up to this, and yes, now she's in B613. Great, I don't care. So they're shooting, and he's basically setting her up because, you know, he works for Eli, Papa Pope, and basically Papa Pope was like, you need to plant the seed, let it grow, recruiting her into B613 because she's too nosy. And so he's like, she's like, what are you gonna do next? And he's like, I got a target that I have to stake out, a cheating husband, yada yada yada. She's like, oh really? So what's gonna happen? So what you're doing, a PI investigation now? Like, like she's just being overtly nosy, and she's just, there's something that is ticking in Quinn. And see, when you want something really bad, you'll get it. And Quinn really wants to kill somebody really badly. She really wants to be this, she wants to be Huck, but she's also seeking Huck's approval, and Huck is over her. Like, Huck they went to Montana. Huck was like, shut up, get out my business. Like, ever since she did what she did to Huck, you cannot cross Huck. The only person that can cross Huck was Olivia, and he forgave her. You know, Huck loved him some Olivia. Olivia can do no wrong. Even when she kept it away that, you know, Eli was her daddy. Oh, yeah, Huck choked her up. She almost lost her life because that's how Huck is. But then he forgave her, and that's about the only person that can actually cross Huck and get away with it, Miss Olivia Pope. So we cut to we're talking about Baby Huck. So they're shooting up, and her and Charlie just is disgusting. He, like, I wouldn't say Charlie is completely disgusting. He's just doing his job, because remember when Huck nearly killed Charlie and Charlie was begging for his life. So Charlie's just doing what Papa Pope wants him to do, and I think he really likes Quinn, and he's really attracted to Quinn, but, you know, duty calls. Anyways, so then we cut to Olivia and Fitz in the Fitz phone. Olivia's leaving out her door, and she has this bad dress, like this bad jacket on, black and white jacket. That jacket was bad. I don't know who it was. Y'all let me know who the designer was, because I mean, y'all know we loved Olivia's Fitz, but this jacket was off the chain. And the Fitz phone is ringing, and she has her coffee in her hand and her keys in another, and her bag. She's getting ready to step out the door, and she looks over at the Fitz phone, and I'm just like, girl, just go to work, okay? Because you just getting on my nerves. With this Nokia slide up phone is so annoying. Like, is anybody gonna get her, like, upgrade her on that phone? Because that phone is so old and annoying, and we are in 2013. Y'all, surely y'all know she can go to Metro PCS and get her a touch phone or something, because this right here, this Nokia slide up phone, is getting on my nerves. And for it to be the president's phone, it's even more so annoying. Okay, so that's just a little tidbit that was annoying me, but the phone's ringing, and I'm like, secretly I'm clapping, because she's moving on with her life, and she's gonna walk out that door, and she's not gonna answer the Fitz phone. Lord, as Jesus is my witness, she gets out that door, the phone is still ringing, and she rushes back to it like a hungry panther. And I'm just like, Olivia, it was enough. Está bastante. Cuando tú estás en el basura. It was enough when you were jigging in the trash. It was enough. We were disgusted at that point a couple episodes ago. But now, Olivia, you're rushing back to this Fitz phone as though your life depended on it. It's so annoying. And she answers the phone. So we're like, really? And she's breathing on the phone. Her big old dragon breaths, okay? And Fitz is like, Olivia, answer me. Answer me. I know it's you. I know I have to hang up if it's not you. Let me know. I'm just like, this is so played out. Like, get back to Mellie, because y'all are annoying me, like, for real. And just FYI, guys, this might be a 3-part review, because I'm gonna say everything I need to say about this. So if the camera cuts off, y'all need to click into the bubbles or whatever that I put up and catch the 2nd or 3rd part, because I'm gonna talk about every little thing, because this episode we getting into the nitty-gritty now. Okay, so they're talking and she's like, you don't get to ask me questions about how I'm doing and how I'm feeling. I'm surrounded by terrorists and liars and body counts and yada yada yada. Doesn't that sound familiar? That little monologue she was talking to Fitz. Her father said the same thing to her when he gave her the allowance to ask one question, and he was like, you don't ask me questions because you don't want, don't ask me questions you don't want to hear the answer to. And she was like, did you kill my mom, and da 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 da. She is her father's child. And I'm just putting all these things together because I'm just like, okay, I can't wait to actually meet Mama Pope, because between Eli and Olivia and Mama Pope and Olivia, we are really gonna see why and how Olivia Pope is Olivia Pope. Okay, so we already talked about that. Okay, I have a question. Is Papa Pope also known as Stranger? Because I don't know, they reference him as Stranger. Well, Fitz references him as Stranger often, so I don't know if that's like a code name for him, but that's just something I don't know if anybody else picked up, but yada yada. And so Olivia is saying that the reason I say Stranger is because Olivia and Fitz, or she's like, you're a stranger to me. He's like, I'm not a stranger. I'm not a stranger. And I'm just like, you are a stranger. Okay, y'all both are strangers. And she was like, the reason she mentioned Rowan's name, and he was like, Rowan, how do you know Rowan? And she was like, there's a lot of things you don't know about me either. And I'm just like, why don't you guys just break up? Or better yet, Olivia, why don't you stop messing with Mellie's man, okay? Because she really wants her husband back, and this is just becoming a huge inconvenience. And it just, to me, anytime Olivia and Fitz fight, then he kind of runs back to Mellie, and he kind of makes amends. And it's just like, you can't be putting Mellie through this, okay? First you declare a war on her, like she said, and now, like, just make up your mind, because now that Olivia is mad at you, now you want to be nice to your wife. It just, Fitz is so annoying in that aspect, and it's just get over it. Get over Olivia. Oh, he also tells her to stay away from Jake. And she's like, why? Because y'all are banging, that's why. But that's the jealous streak that he has, and whatever. I'm so glad that they didn't show too much of Olivia and Fitz, because I was quite disgusted with them. They're just annoying. Alright, so they cut to Jake and Huck are at Olivia Pope and Associates, and Olivia's staying there, and she's like, Huck is like, they're here, and we're like, who's here? Oh, you mean the rest of the gladiators? They're coming to work? Oh, okay. So they have a picture up of a black woman. You know how they put the picture up on the wall when they're getting a new client? Well, that's what she's done of a black woman. And here goes Quinn. Why does that woman look so familiar? And she's like, because that's my mother. So you're gonna take a new client? And they're like, yes, we're taking a new client. I need to figure out what's going on. So basically she tells the gladiators that Eli's her daddy, he's an assassin, he's crazy, he either hired her mother to be dead, to be killed, or it was collateral damage. And they're like sitting there with their mouths open like, what the hell is going on? And oh, on top of that, the president was flying the plane, so we need to figure out what's good. And they're like, oh my God. So she was like, I don't know if y'all gonna do this. I was trying to, Huck is like, Olivia's daddy is very dangerous. And I'm like, yeah, we get, like, Huck, sometimes Huck says things and you're like, that's just, do we just leave him alone because he's crazy in general? So, yeah, we know Olivia's daddy is crazy. That's hence the reason why we're sitting here, because dude almost killed or had her mama killed. We don't know, but anyways, everybody's on agreement. And one thing I wanted to say was that Columbus Short, when he said no doubt, something about him saying that was his only line in the whole episode. He said no doubt, and he said no doubt so strong and with some conviction. I was like, he was just sexy. Okay, so that's a side note. I love me some Columbus Short. He said no doubt, like he was in her corner. I'm like, yes, that's how you want your man to be, in your corner. But that's not her man. He needs to be somebody's man. Please, I cannot wait to see some more of Harrison's character development, because I need him to have a girlfriend or something. So they need to cast me. I'll be his girlfriend. Anyway, so we talked. Oh, Mellie's outfit was super cute this episode. The purple and the black. Mellie looks good in black and purple. I mean, purple is, it fits her perfectly. So let's see. We already talked about that. Oh, so they flash back to Fitz is sitting in the living room of his home or whatever, and he's having a drink because, you know, he had an argument with his father. So his father walks in, was like, I'll have one of those. And I'm just like, you'll have one of what? Oh, you mean you need me to get up and make you a drink? Oh, you done bumped your head. And that's the way that Fitz kind of looked at him, but he still got up and made that drink. I'm like, you do need to grow some balls, because you acting like a little girl. Like, I'll have one of those. Then get up and make it yourself, daddy, because that's the reason I'm sitting here drinking it, is because you done made me mad. And like, no, you get up and make your own little vodka and tonic or whatever you was drinking. And he just basically ripped him up again. Okay, so the scene between Fitz's daddy, Jerry, Fitz and Jerry, I'm sorry y'all, I'm seeing it in my head and I'm trying to like make it come to fruition. But anyways, they give the backstory of why Fitz was shot down the plane, and how his daddy was upset with him because he joined the Navy and he was a senator's son, and they go back and forth. So between the back and forth exchange, we understand that there was a bomb on the plane that Olivia's mother died on, right? And Fitz was ordered to shoot that plane out of the sky or whatever. So that's the reason why he shot the plane down, yada yada yada. So his daddy is upset because he had plans for him to be a senator, and he had a trust fund, and he basically went against his father's wishes because he actually wanted to serve his country, which that makes it honorable. Like, it, to me, Fitz should be the president because he really did want to serve his country, and his father had different dreams for him in the same respect, but not like honorably. So whatever, this video is about to cut off in a couple seconds, so you know what, let me stop here and then hit the link for part 2. Y'all stay with me because this was a great episode. All right, see y'all in a couple seconds. Hurry up.